What's a conspiracy theory you could make up right now? The coronavirus was caused by Nintendo Switches and their LCD panels. A Nazi world under Antarctica. This entire pandemic was a means to control the population at the source. It was supposed to be secret but could not be contained, thus spreading. The reason why my Wi-Fi cuts off randomly is to force me to use up my 4G more. This post was created by the CCP in order to get ideas for the next major conspiracy they could create. This thread was created for the sole purpose of finding out what we know, and how much we know about it. That all of these comments below are actually true, and this post was created by the government so that y'all would think they weren't real conspiracy theories. The World Bank is secretly stealing $1 from your bank account. Humans were invented by food companies as a way to get money, and when it runs out then there won't be any point for us, so we all die. Juicy fruit is not made of real fruit. IHOP doesn't exist, and anyone who claims it does is a paid actor. If you have memories of that place, it's because you were vaccinated as a child and the mind control is now taking effect. YouTube secretly adds additional milliseconds to their ads. You're secretly skipping after 5.05 seconds. Beanbags are just bean egg sacks. Once enough beanbags have been produced, they will pop and take over the world. The government released the virus to cripple the entertainment industry for getting too involved in politics. Now they're going to bail them out of debt but require them to pay it back. This effectively financially controls some of the biggest media influencers in the world. You are the Illuminati, who wants to know how good are people's conspiracy skills and what they already know to create a plan for your future behavior. The coronavirus has a 20% chance of making any man infected permanently impotent and leave any woman barren. The pandemic was created by Zoom. My wife replaces store cupcakes with cupcakes she made herself. She think I don't know, but I know. The bees were a small mission funded by God to keep flowers and the planet from being destroyed, but realized it was a lost cause and stopped funding it, so therefore, that's why bees are disappearing. We don't exist, we are simply a part of Op's imagination. The coronavirus was only a proof of concept, just to see how well it spreads. The more lethal cause virus will be released soon after this trial period. Chupacabras are actually coyotes that broke into the cartel's drug stash and got geeked and tweaked. Edit, thanks for all the upvotes. I think we need to have a talk with cartels about hiding their stuff a little better so we don't have these savage animals roaming around. Women's clothing lack usable pockets to necessitate the purchase of handbags. That the Bernie bro that tried to ram a hospital ship with a train was right, that a part of the government is trying to take over the entire government. Employees from retail stores are keeping all that toilet paper and hand sanitizer themselves and selling those products online. The Chinese government either intentionally released or used the unintentional release of the virus to advance their agenda by 1, taking the news and fire out of the Hong Kong protest, and by 2, preparing and insulating their economy and emergency services to weather the infection better to influence a market crash so they would become the dominant economy. A bit like shooting yourself in the hand to shoot the other guy in the chest. Apple, over the last few years, has been shaving off clock time using our phones. It's only small amounts so we don't notice, and the adjustments in daylight savings are easy to reset the manipulation. Banks give Apple a portion of the money for their cooperation, and the increased money they receive from interest rates. Sometimes it seems like our clocks are running slow, but they aren't. Russia conspired with Saudi Arabia, another petrol economy, in dropping oil prices, further crippling Western economies during the COVID-19 outbreak. This will, in turn, strengthen their long-term position in geopolitics. COVID was man-made in an effort to control the population. Women who get the virus will become infertile and sussed out. Those who remain healthy will live in a new post-COVID country called Gilead. They will be forced to become mothers for high-ranking officials, while others are sent to colonies to do dangerous work. 1. Coronavirus, intentionally planned by Bernie Sanders to get him elected on the grounds of needing universal health care. 2. Biden is to the Democrats as Trump is to the Republicans, an easily manipulated puppet. Biden was going to lose the race, so the DNC got their candidates to drop out and endorse Biden. Bernie was a complication, but through media hit pieces and the silence surrounding Biden's screw-ups, it meant it was going to be a Biden versus Trump situation. But no matter who wins, the meta puppeteers will always win, as they control both parties. 3. Minor 1. YouTube isn't demonetizing so many creators. No, it is those channels who are pretending they are losing money to then justify shilling shitty merch, awful in-video ads and Patreon accounts. After all, the newer generation of YouTubers don't make videos because they enjoy it. They do it for the money. The coronavirus was purposely released by all world governments as a way to distract the public, consolidate large shares of resources by using government contractors to pinch small portions of emergency goods during delivery, and funnel money through emergency legislation to secretly build underground bunkers to house the rich and powerful from the impending impact of a large asteroid set to hit the planet sometime in the next year. Some of the people taken away for quarantine didn't die from COVID-19, they died from other experiments in order to further scientific research. Also some died from study the virus itself, the patients being doses with random drugs until something stops the virus. Note, I don't believe this. China introduced COVID to their own population to evaluate how their country responds to COVID versus America. Now that they've seen how we react, they're going to cut off everything they send to the US, causing major supply chain disruptions. As the US is dealing with that chaos, China will use some exaggerated pretext to declare war with one of our allies. Maybe a territorial dispute with Japan or someone. America will be goaded to join in while China and probably Russia both work together to defeat America militarily. Boris Johnson purposely infected himself with COVID-19 by going to the hospital and shaking hands with infected patients, in order to get the disease early and thus be immune for the long road of governing after he heals up. The Hollywood fad of conspiracy shows and movies in the 90s was to socially engineer us. It was meant to be over the top so regular people would tire of conspiracies. Also, it taught a generation of people that if you do uncover a conspiracy you are definitely alone and that you won't get proof, so just announce it to the world. The goal was to make it so they will have time to cover up / destroy evidence, and discredit the conspiracy nut before anyone can find the proof. That's the real X-Files conspiracy. You know how people are saying that because of the coronavirus pigeons are the only ones left outside in the cities? Well, because of a major bug in their system. We all know pigeons are government-controlled robots that spy on us. They have turned hostile towards humans. Anyone outside will get killed by these defect pigeon robots. The coronavirus is just a government scheme to give them more time to fix it, without us noticing. The coronavirus is a scheme by the baby boomers to create another baby boom. Thus making the OK Boomer meme impossible, because it would not just refer to them anymore. Earth is not flat or even round. It's cone-shaped. The government hired Stanley Kubrick to shoot the moon landing on a movie set. However, Kubrick was such a perfectionist, he filmed on location. This virus was developed and spread through a partnership with China, the US, the EU, and others to teach the world's population what their failures of parents did not: wash their fucking hands. Seriously, there is a high percentage of people who needed this to happen so they'd wash their hands. Y'all are goddamn disgusting. Between the population loss and the incoming corona baby wave generation, whoever just fixed social security. Sasquatch sightings are just military snipers in ghillie suits after completing some covert operation. The US government staged 9/11 to wage war in the Middle East so they could try to take control of their oil, or at least get it for cheaper. There have been events where the US has staged attacks